Okay, hi guys. I'm trying out this today is my first video showing some curriculum. I just want to do quick flip throughs and kind of talk about 3 different homeschool history curriculums I've picked and will be using this year with my younger 3 who are 1st grade, 3rd grade, and 4th grade. So let's get into it. The first one is called TruthQuest, and these are really cool. It comes in 3 volumes. Here's the first volume. It's Young American History for Young Students 1, starting the exploration to the 1800s. Let me show you the table of contents. And I did buy these used. They were all very good priced. You can find them like thriftbooks.com, abooks.com, second sale, something like that you can get used, or you can just go on their website and purchase from there. They're not expensive at all. So here is the table of contents. It kind of starts with the discovery, of course, Christopher Columbus near the beginning, and then moving on from there goes into like colonial life, the Great Awakening, French and Indian Wars, and so on. So what's really cool about this is it's not actually a workbook curriculum. So there's no student workbooks. I believe they do have, if you want, you can purchase a separate piece to it that helps you make like a lap book or something like that. I'm not gonna do that portion of it. I'm literally just gonna use these as references. So if they need to focus on one subject, say Alexander Hamilton, which of course my kids love because of the musical, we can come here. I can go to page 150 and I'll just show you how this works. Find Alexander Hamilton up here, and literally it just lists good books. So it's learning history through books. It tells you which grade level is recommended as far as how well a child can read or how new they are at reading. So it's really cool. So we're just gonna use these as a reference. So the second volume is American History 1800s, 1865. So it picks up where the first volume leaves off, and so on. So this one goes from 1865 to the 2000s. So this is really cool. We'll just be using it just as a reference. I'm not really big on like workbook type history curriculum at the young age because they will have to go over and just learn all this stuff again, kind of in a loop once they get to the middle and high school age. So we kind of like the idea of it just being learning through books, and if we watch a video or a movie or something that has to do related to a specific topic, we do follow California state standards. So we have it all laid out, what they need to learn, and it'll be easy to go to the table of contents and just pick what we need to learn and go from there. So there is that. We haven't tried them, but I'll keep you posted because I think those are gonna work out really well. So let's move on to another new one that I'm trying. It's from Winter Promise, and this is called Hideaways in History. So it comes with a guide, and I'll just show you. Excuse me, and my puppy, because she's crazy. So I've only purchased the ancient world thus far because I want to work through it and see how well my children take to it. Just upon first glance, I see a little bit of issues that I will share with you once I show you that part. But here is the guide. It tells you every week what you're going to be studying. And you just go to that week and it literally has it all laid out for you. Day 1, read these pages. If you want, it has a separate science resource, which we're not going to be using. I noticed it's really based on like creation, which I love, and I usually touch on at the beginning of every school year before we go into more like science type topics. But that's just not something we're going to be following as far as that goes. And then Hiding God's Word in Your Heart is a separate portion you can purchase. That's memorization of certain Bible verses. And then the Hole Up in a Homemade Hideaway, which is kind of why I purchased this curriculum in the first place, because it looked really fun. It looks like this. It comes with each week when you're learning about something specific. So for instance, the first week you're learning about caves and that moment in history, and it will show you what you need to build your own cave. And then there's even like inspiration of like draw your own cave paintings and hieroglyphics and things like that. So I think this will be really fun and super hands-on. Arctic igloo and so on. So I'm really excited. I think all three of my little ones are gonna have fun doing this together. And then I have, this is the actual textbook, I would say. You can buy these in PDFs. I got them spiral bound because I didn't want to print everything. So on first glance, I can tell you that my son, who's in 4th grade, he will be fine with this. He'll read this. We can talk about it. He can answer the discussion questions. Really simple. My little ones are not going to want to sit through these readings. Their attention span and comprehension just isn't there. So we'll kind of I'll probably loosely paraphrase what's going on, and we'll do the hideaways together. And then I did purchase, which I can't show you on here because I only got the PDF versions. I purchased some worksheets that are good for about 1st grade level that they can do along with the lesson. So while my son is reading, or if they want to stay quiet while I'm reading out loud, they can also work on those worksheets at the same time. So I'm also really excited about this. I think it looks really fun. Okay, and then last is Lifepac. And I've had these in my home for many years. This is, I want to say, our 10th school year, 10th or going on our 11th school year of homeschool. And I never, for whatever reason, used these units, which is so odd. But I have the 2nd grade level here, and I came across them just a few weeks ago, and I'm like, oh my gosh, these are perfect, because even though it's a 2nd grade level, my 3rd grader will need to touch on all of these things this year. So like the settlers and the colonies and the legislative branches, government, so on and so forth. This is like the year in California that we focus on that. So I'll be able to adapt the workbooks to her learning. And if I feel like they're a little too easy, we'll kind of just play off of them and go and do the parts that are more based on her level. So what's really cool is each unit also has a test at the end before you move on to the next one. There's 10 units a year, I'm sorry. And they just go at their own pace. And they're very short and colorful, and I think that it will work really well on days when I'm just not able to sit with them and teach them a full lesson, or they can just independent learn on their own if they don't really want to work in a group. And these will be really great. So this is the 7th unit. Sorry, I didn't pick it up in any particular order, but it just has readings, vocabulary, fill in like multiple choice questions, and then there's also areas I noticed in one of them. Let's see if I can find it in here. I noticed they have some writing portions. Not seeing it in this particular one. Let me show you in the 1st unit what I'm talking about. They have writing portions, which is great because 3rd grade, we're going to be focusing on structuring paragraphs and starting to learn how to write a paragraph correctly. And so we'll use these as our prompts and then be able to outline and go forward with all our paragraphing based off of these prompts. So I think these will be really good, and I'm excited to finally try them this year. So that's my 3 curriculum choices. And I will, of course, do a review later of how they're working. But for now, I'm optimistic that it's going to be really great. Okay, thanks.